Welcome back. Thanks very much for tuning in. We are getting a breaking development where the army commanders meet that will happen tomorrow to discuss the situation at the border. This is the biannual Army Commanders Conference that will be held tomorrow. It was earlier slated to be held in the month of April, but got delayed because of the pandemic spread. And the agenda will be to discuss on the border issues, especially with our neighbors, and also when it goes to the planning and the execution process of the Indian Army to ensure that there is due diligence, decisions that are taken through the system that comprises of the Army commanders and also of the senior officers. Abhishek Kapoor, our executive editor, is with us. So Abhishek, it was supposed to happen, the conference, in April, but because of coronavirus and the lockdown measures, we're getting to know it will happen tomorrow. Now, what will be on the agenda?
Amita, this is that half-yearly commanders conference that happens in Delhi or some other location sometimes. And the annual commanders conference is actually important enough to be attended by the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister. This is half-yearly one, was supposed to happen in April. The next one happens possibly in October, November. But then because of COVID situation, it is happening now. Essentially, it's a security review where all the commanders of all the corps come together and strategize and deliberate and confabulate on respective security situation in their jurisdictions, as also, of course, the national security situation. You can expect that, given the fact that this is happening in the backdrop of recent developments along the northern border, specifically Sikkim, Eastern Ladakh, and of course the Nepal situation. All those things would be discussed, apart from, of course, the situation in Kashmir Valley, as also the western border. So essentially a commanders conference which happens half-yearly, but there is topicality of whatever has happened in Sikkim, Nepal, and Nepal border and the Eastern Ladakh sector. Obviously, those would be discussed.
Abhishek, is it just restricted when it comes to our border areas and with our neighbors that the challenge will be taken up, because now the country is facing with another challenge of coronavirus, and the Army's preparedness also is something that they have said they will be active and present for any time when it comes to serving their motherland. Do we have any update on that?
Well, so, Amita, this is an all-encompassing security conference that happens. This is not specific to any issue. There is, of course, topicality. So COVID would be discussed, and Nepal border would be discussed, and the recent clashes that have happened between troops of India and China along the Sikkim and Nepal and the Eastern Ladakh sector would be discussed, and the ceasefire violations by Pakistan and the security situation in the aftermath of the infiltration bids that have happened, or increase in infiltration bids that has happened. So it's, as I said, overall national security situation. All commanders come together and exchange ideas, exchange thoughts, and take notes on what the national security strategy is and for the next 6 months. Because, as I said, it's half yearly. They're meeting now. They'll meet again in October, November, and strategize again.
All right, Abhishek, thank you very much for joining us with the details. So a high-level meeting of the Army commanders that happens twice in a year, earlier slated for the month of April, could not happen because of the virus spread. Now will be happening tomorrow. Let's move